So, if you guys don't know who Jason David Frank was, he was a Green Ranger who tragically took his own life, and his daughter Jenna Frank is left behind. Now, she has been going to cons and in his honor or doing cons, however you want to view it. And there's been quite a debate going on in, I guess, my community about if she should be doing them or not. Let's take a look. All right, here we go.
Frank, this conversation came up because Henry does it.
Bro, look at this. Look. This is Dust. This is Brent's go-to. He be blaming me for everything, bro.
Through Instagram, I can get you up on Instagram if you have Instagram. You know my Instagram, I can pull you up that way if that's possible.
Is it working now or?
Yeah, you sound great right now.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Ooh,
okay, so go ahead. I'm gonna let you speak. Go ahead.
So Jenna Frank, this conversation came up because Henry does. If you recall, Henry said that there's people at the con that said that you were asking questions about Jenna. Is that correct?
He's like, I want to get this out the way. I didn't bring this up. Basically, yeah. People are like, yo, he was asking people questions about Jenna Frank at the con. I'm like, here you go, asking these questions.
No, actually, Drew started talking about that. Yeah.
Right. So it was something that I didn't bring up out of the blue. It was something that I was asked to elaborate on. And so there wasn't something that I just brought out of the blue. So let's just get that out of the way. And then with Jenna, if you listen to what I said she should have the right to be there, especially if she's in demand. There are people in that chat. Alex Veneer, he has a podcast, Nerd Talk Podcast. Another person who super chatted, they said specifically that Jenna should not be there at all.
Who cares though? Like, who cares? Like,
who fucking cares, bitch?
Because they have a podcast and they like, this is him saying, hey, they agree with me, or hey, obviously some people don't believe she should be at cons, but let's hear his whole point.
And I understand where they're coming from, because when you go to a convention, you're there to push your work. You're there to push some movie or TV show. Shannon Lee has a bunch of acting credits. She's produced multiple productions. She used her connection with Bruce Lee. She leveraged that to create a TV show and acted as an executive producer. Priscilla Presley, she was in the Naked Gun series. She was in Dallas. She made a TV show called Agent Elvis. These people, they use their connections with their famous family members to create a product that people could use. Jenna Frank, on the other hand, is advertising a movie that hasn't been released and is
Legend of the White Dragon. What the hell? When is Legend of the White Dragon coming out? Is it coming out? I mean, I know a lot of people are like, they're waiting on it. They're like, oh, it's gonna come out, I promise. And you're like, is it?
You keep talking over me, then I can't answer, and why am I here then?
Basically advertising that she's the daughter of the Green Ranger. Now, do I think she should be allowed at cons? As I said before, yes, she should be, especially if she's in the demand. I said that specifically during the stream. But I get where people are coming from when she shows up to these cons, and people that who are actually in the show are working hard advertising their work. So from the artistic perspective, I understand where people are coming from when they take issue with what Jenna Frank being at cons. But from a business perspective, I do feel that if she's bringing in customers, she should be allowed to be there. And I never said that she shouldn't be allowed to come to cons. I've never said that.
Now, here's the thing. When it comes to cons, it's really hard to gauge, who is bringing in customers outside of, like, if they're doing a tracking sheet. But I can't imagine, ASJ, everywhere he goes, he has guarantees, Walter guarantees for the most part. I imagine what they're doing with Jenna Frank is probably just saying, like, hey, you want to come to this con, out of respect for your father, you can be a guest at our con. And that could be cool. I really don't know the back end behind her attending cons. I don't talk to her like that, not like it's like some beef or anything like that. It just never comes up. I'm never like, hey, what's the deal with you going to cons? because I really, it's a non-issue to me, but it's an issue to some fans per se. Let's keep it going. But I remember like Dust did have a good point.
But I
Drew,
do take issue.
Okay,
I
go
do
ahead.
take
Go ahead,
issue.
Brent.
Yeah. So the issue I did take was that the fact that she's charging, because her dad, Kenny said that the Frank, like the daughters, they're continuing his legacy. I heard that during Renee's stream, and one part of his legacy was he advertised free autographs. He put down other Rangers being at cons for money.
Bro, Brent would never let that shit go with Walter, yo. He is gonna be on that for life. For life, guy. And this is his issue he has. So, if he got an issue with the father, you probably gonna have an issue with the daughter, right? Only makes sense.
And if he is allowed to question those other Rangers, he specifically said, I love Walter, I love everybody, but maybe they're at cons for money. So if he's allowed to question those other Rangers who's actually in the show, how come us as fans, as consumers, we can't question Jenna Frank and her presence at cons? I think it's totally fair game. And so this idea that I question that she shouldn't be there, it's not true, but I do question what she's charging. And if she's there for the fans, she should do it for free, in my opinion. If she
No, wait, what?
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Guys, this whole if you're doing it for the fans, you should do it for free. This is nothing I can get behind. Now, he's only saying this because it's Jenna. He would never say this to Walter or Austin or some of the other people that that charge him for signatures or interactions per se. Bare minimum, if you're driving to a con and or paying for hotel, airfare, you want to recoup that. And the best way is obviously from fans. That's going to be your way to recoup it, and outside of some guarantee. But the guarantees are only for your top acts, your top people. And there are people in the audience saying, "Hey, Jenna does get free autographs." But Brent would never know that, and that's not something Brent will ever acknowledge per se.
He's about the fandom, but I understand the business aspect as well.
What do you
So,
mean by doing it
that's
for
what
free?
Go ahead, Dust. Sorry about
What
that.
do you mean by doing it for free? What do you mean exactly? Not charge for autographs or
Right. Not charge for autographs. I feel like there would be less backlash because I'm not the only one who feels this way. Then there would be less. If she's there for the fans, then I feel like there would be less backlash over what Jenna Frank is doing. But she's charging as much as Veronica Taylor, who voiced Ash Ketchum, who was an iconic anime character. And I feel like the people who take issue with Jenna Frank is not because they don't like her. It's just they feel that she doesn't have a body of work to justify an appearance at a con. And even if she wasn't, even if the con was empty, they feel like it's disrespectful to the other celebrities that are there who put out work.
What? Now, look, guys, when it comes to cons, literally anyone can attend a con. As far as being a guest, I'm sure, every con is different, but at the end of the day, it is the owner of the con's discretion of who they choose to have as a guest versus who they want to have as a vendor. And if you're on the same floor as Jenna Frank and you feel some type of way that she's there, then you are the person with the insecurity, not necessarily her per se, nor is it her problem that other quote unquote more established people put out bodies of work that are out there, because you got people like Austin St. John charging way more than people who are currently acting and on TV for signatures. And sometimes he's not even there as a guest. He's there as a vendor. And even some of the ones he's a guest at, you're like, bro, how are you getting away charging this much? But I think Austin St. John is on the outs, considering his bookings have been lacking. And, he had what you call like the death punch to his career, from him saying he wanted to make Hitler shirts to the PPP fraud, pleading guilty to that. to making fun of a gay person, all these things that contributed to his downfall of his career and bad management per se. As I did, someone sent me an email of his manager, Zach, trying to book Austin for something. I'm not going to say what, but I was just like, bro, when you have to reach out to the con and be like, hey, you want to have my client? They're like,
Nope.
no, we don't want to have your client.
That they're advertising. And I've seen the pictures that she advertises. She's wearing suits of her father, and she wasn't on Power Rangers. And that's the issue I take with Jenna Frank.
Cosplaying? Wait, what do Brent bring on? She's wearing suits of her father's at cons, and he's taking issues. Let's hear from the horse's mouth.
The pictures that she advertised disrespectful to the other celebrities that are there by an appearance at a con. And even if she wasn't, even if the con was empty, they feel like it's disrespectful.
How do they feel? Like, did he talk to these people and be like, oh my God, Jenna Frank is here? I get that the con is empty, but she shouldn't be here. Or is he just saying this shit out the back of his ass?
The other celebrities that are there who put out work that they're advertising. And I've seen the pictures that she advertises. She's wearing suits of her father, and she wasn't on Power Rangers. And that's the issue I take with Jenna Frank. And I personally, from a business perspective, feel that she should be allowed to be there to satisfy the consumer. Other people that Drew does not even mention or doesn't take issue with their opinions have specifically said in the chat, I sent Renee the screenshot, she should not be at the con.
Yeah.
They make that very clear.
Now, here's the thing, guys. When you have like a strong opinion and you like, well, look, I'm not the only one who who has these type of opinions. There are other people with it. You like, okay, so back in the day, a lot of people thought the earth was flat. 100% thought the earth was flat. And turns out earth is not so flat. But what Brent is hanging on to, as he does, is people who share his similar opinion. Whereas, me, I'm like, look, this is how I think and this is what it is. Not like, well, I'm not the only one who think this way. Francis agree, Dust agree, Nick agree, Cayenne Pepper agree, Freddie agree, Doss Shorts agree. All these different people agree, so I must be right. No.
Nope.
No.
So that's what I would say about Jenna Frank.
JDF still charged for his autographs. It's just there were times where he didn't charge that much or he gave a bunch for free. Also, you need to understand that Jenna Frank, unlike Sky or any of the others, Jenna Frank has been going to conventions with Jason David Frank since she was like really, really little. Like, so many people watched Jenna grow up just from like, you can look up, I don't know how many videos of her being at conventions, sitting with her dad, answering questions that she's done. Like a few times I think I've seen a few karate demonstrations that she's done and stuff. So she's grown up in that world without actually being on the show. And the plan was for her to be on the show. And that's how she ended up on Legend of the White Dragon. So since people watched her grow up and other kids kind of grew up with her, like, it kind of makes sense that they would want to go there and get her autograph. And her autograph should be worth something. Do I think it's worth whatever she's charging? How much is her autograph?
$40.
I would pay like $20-$30 for her autograph.
Well, let me disagree with Dust. Her autograph is worth whatever people are willing to pay for it. That's what it's worth. Same as Austin St. John's. We think that shit's worth nothing. You can't even find a thing autograph for Austin St. John. It's like, oh yeah, $80. You like, nah, bro. Even if you go to eBay, look at his autographs. But her autograph is what people are willing to pay. And like someone said earlier in the chat, hey, there are times where she gives out autographs for free. She's just there on the humble with the fans.
If I was at a convention. But I mean, she grew up in that world. We all watched her grow up in that world. And the plan was for her to be a Power Ranger. That's why she was in Legend of the White Dragon. And who's to say she won't do some fan film, or if something else ever comes out, or maybe she'll, she does have planned to be in the entertainment industry. And so her autograph now could go up even more once she starts doing stuff. So
That's true.
This is 100% true. Like, let's just say she gets like in some other big movie, like later in life, or some big production, that $30 or $40 autograph is gonna double, maybe triple in price. So I mean, Brent, look, guys, Brent is gonna hate on anything JDF does. JDF or his daughter do. I actually think Brent will probably support Sky before he ever supports Jenna, and he will probably agree with that, because he's upset about something Jenna said when JDF first passed.
I think that her going there and getting those autographs and stuff.
Because it's kind of like I feel you, Dust. It's kind of like branding. You know what I'm saying? You have to market yourself, because she can't just hope and pray that just because I am the daughter of such and such, or anybody would say that. Like even basketball players who come up on their fathers who are like really famous, they're like, I don't want to be considered, like consider just my father's son. I want to be appreciated for what I can do on the court. That's something to think about. Drew, you want to say something before I go back to Brent about whatever?
Look, I do think it's interesting. I see some people normally up here on a different show. I'm like, oh, this is good content for me.
I was gonna say, me and Sean actually had Nerd Talk briefly on the last, I think it was the last show we did, and he did bring up, that he didn't really get behind, Jenna coming at conventions. And I asked him, I said, well, what if she started a foundation like Bruce Lee's foundation? That's, her mom is starting a foundation kind of a deal, which she's a part of. So that's something that's happening right now and will be more established as the future goes on. And that's when he told me, he said, well, if she sets up a foundation, he didn't have too much of a problem. But yeah, he did disagree with that, but we didn't get into it, and it was fine. I respected his decision, was like, all right, cool. That was that. So we did have a conversation with somebody else about it.
Well, I mean, guys, the whole I talked to somebody and they agreed or disagreed. There's really no right or wrong answer per se. Me, I'm like, okay, look, here's the thing, guys. Here we go. And then we'll let Brent speak. Here's my honest to God thoughts of her attending cons. Or anyone attending cons. You still got people like Austin St. John attending cons. You still got Sock'em Rock'em older person, Hector David Rivera attending cons. Just because they're at a con doesn't mean you have to support them. At the end of the day, it truly is your money, your choice. You don't have to go to their booth. But I think people being upset that they just have a booth or they're just there, y'all need to dead that shit, man. And I know people like, well, what about Austin St. John? I'm like, look, man, it is what it is. You got people like Power Morphicon, Scott Zillner, who like ASJ gonna be here every year. I don't care if I got to pay for the hotel, the flight, whatever. We gonna have ASJ. I don't care if he innocent, guilty, convicted, guilty, whatever. But when it comes to Jenna doing cons, like you don't gotta support her. But I do think it's a lot of misguided hate coming from your boy Brent. The leader of the family over there, at Jenna just for existing at a con. Let's hear what you got to say.
Oh, okay. Well, Brent, you're free to go. Go ahead. You can say whatever you feel.
Okay.
It's your world.
So there's plenty of people that go to conventions, have plenty of experience, but the reality is they don't have they're not the daughter of or a son of a celebrity. And there's an issue of nepotism, nepo babies. They call in the entertainment industry, where people like Jack Quaid, Jamie Lee Curtis, but they
got the talent though. Like, so yeah, sure, their last name is recognizable. Nepotism will get you in the door, right? It'll get Jenna to the con, but the interaction with the fans is all on her. So like if people are going to see Jenna having a positive experience and getting some value out of whatever experience or item they purchase from Jenna, then that's on them. But people like Brent is always going to be a hater dog.
work overshadows any of those claims. They're there because of their work, the production that they do in the acting industry.
Not necessarily. It's people there who just for being popular. Like literally, I could probably get a con appearance. Not as a guest, but I could probably get up in there, you know what I'm saying? And Jack Quaid 100% has talent, man. He's crushing it right now. But you know, man, it's the Brents out here who may not have may not be able to benefit from nepotism per se. And they see someone like Jenna who benefits greatly from it. You like, damn, man, how she just get to be at this kind of, she doesn't do like a plethora of con appearances per se. But you got people like Brent who like, man, what the hell? Why is she here? Well, bro, you don't got to go there. Like, I'm sure it's going to be cons where people that you don't like are going to be there. And are you going to be like, why is she here? Well, the con wanted her here. But let's let him tell his side. And then we'll go to Dust's video.
So there's no issue. But with Jenna, she hasn't produced anything at all. Like the movie Legend of the White Dragon, it hasn't even been released yet. And this idea of going to cons for experience, that's not something that people.
So like, what about the TikTokers who do stuff? And shout out to my man Answer06 who says, Brent, so you're saying Patrick Sky can't do cons in a Green Ranger suit? Man, go sit down by Geiger booth. Jenna, do you, especially if it's helping you heal. Patrick Sky, keep doing cons. All hail the GOAT, JDF. Yeah.
That's a truthful statement.
Man, thank you, Answer06, man. I appreciate it. But yeah, man, Answer06 is 100% right. Like, who cares, bro? You don't got to support her, but it's a conversation for Brent. Like, oh my God. I can see him now going from booth to booth. Oh my God. Did you see Jenna Frank is here? How'd she get here? Why is she charging so much? It just annoys me. You know, that family, you know, he probably just hates the family.
People they go to cons to talk about the work. They don't go to cons to, oh, you have so much experience going to different conventions. I want your autograph.
It's the experience, dude. It's the fact that everybody watched that girl grow up. Everybody watched that girl sit right next to Jason David Frank at those conventions. Like,
well, that's not. He wasn't in the show, but what she's advertising is Power Rangers.
It doesn't even matter.
It doesn't matter. I mean, I said it myself that if she sells tickets, she should be allowed to be in. But I'm just arguing. I understand where people say she shouldn't be allowed at all, and I understand where they're coming from because she hasn't been in any production that has been released, and it's just not. It's kind of insulting to the other people who put in the work to go to the audition.
What? What? How is it insulting? Oh man, you know this. Brent got some issues, man. But here is. I'm sorry, I'm all zoomed in. Here is Jenna literally growing up at the cons. This is years in the making. Throwback Thursday. So fun to see Jenna Frank last weekend in Houston and see you shine. Jason will be so proud of the woman you have become. I watched you grow and go through so many chapters in evolutions. I'm excited to see where God is leading you next. It's beautiful to see God's strength. There is Catherine Sutherland, but you got people like Brent, like, it's unfortunate because they had to go through auditions. And what about the TikTokers that are at the cons? What about them? Are people sad to be next to a TikToker or a YouTuber or a Twitch streamer or, you know, a person like XQC? Like, oh, what does he do? Oh, he just streams. He reacts to content and plays games. Well, why does he have so many people? He didn't do no auditions at cons. Why do people care? Like,
to make themselves known, and he should at least be in some sort of production and to be at these cons.
Are you serious? Are you serious? Here's the thing, right? Austin St. John ain't been in shit since fucking Power Rangers, and he's still there at these cons. So for him to say, oh, she need to be in some type of production to be at a con, that's so disingenuous. Look, man, that's some I hate the Frank family right there.
Work to go to the hasn't been in any production that has been released, and it's just not. It's kind of insulting to the other people who put in the work to go to the auditions to make themselves known, and she should at least be in some sort of production to be at these cons and to justify that appearance. Now, as I said on Henry's stream, as I said on here, if she sells tickets, she should be allowed in, particularly when they can't fill up the convention with people who have actually been in actual movies or TV shows. Then yes, she should be allowed in because she sells tickets. And I see it with my own eyes that there is demand because she's the daughter of the Green Ranger. That sells tickets.
That's definitely part of it.
I think he's just jealous, guys. I think he's jealous.
But that's not all of it. She was being raised to work in that industry. Yeah. And we also
many people were as well, and they don't have that same. I mean, it's just not. I feel like with these,
if they don't have the opportunity, it's not their fault. It's like, oh well, my dad raised me to be at the cons. Was your dad famous? No, but he raised me there. Like, well, who cares? Like, who cares then?
Who fucking cares, bitch?
Conventions, you're advertising a movie, a TV show that you were in, and it's kind of.
We don't know. So the thing is that Legend of the White Dragon was supposed to be out,
but it wasn't. So whose fault is that? That's Aaron's fault.
Look at this. Brent's so smug, man.
It is. So it was supposed to be out. Is it Jenna's fault that she acted in a movie that she promoted and went to conventions and promoted this? I'm in this movie. It's my dad's last movie. I'm going to go to conventions. I'm going to interact with his fans and the few people that follow me. She did that. It's not really her fault that Aaron is just sitting on that and not doing anything with it, because that's what I believe he's doing. I'm sure there's probably some other issues, but the point is she was in something. It's just not her fault that it wasn't released.
But it wasn't released.
Part of her being at those conventions was to promote something that was supposed to come out. And then that was supposed to be the door for her to keep going and working in the industry. And one more thing, we don't know what else she's working on right now.
It's true.
Could she be working on could she have been casted in some TV show and we just don't know? Like, actors can't talk about that stuff until like it's already done and put out. We don't know if she's working on anything right now.
Oh God, man. Brent's just a hater, guys. When it comes to certain topics, you have to just see him for the hater that he is, man. The hater that he will always be when it comes to certain topics, man. 100% JDF, Jenna. Those are things that he is never going to just back down or agree with. And now he's like, oh, this is ad hominem. It's not ad hominem if it's true. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.